Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, January 10. An additional $20 million will be allocated to complete the road leading to the Accompong Maroon Village in St. Elizabeth. Minister of Tourism Edmund Bartlett made that announcement during the annual Accompong Maroon celebrations on January 6. The money will be added to the initial sum of $9 million that was provided by the Tourism Enhancement Fund to improve roads in the area. Minister Bartlett says that money was well spent and this new allocation will increase visitor arrivals to the heritage site. He says efforts will also be made to establish a cultural center in the area to expose the talents of youth and ensure that the avenue for cultural expression remains available. Students set to take this year's Grade 6 Achievement Test GSAT are to sit a national mock examination on Wednesday and Thursday of this week. The mock examination has been designed by the Education Ministry to judge students' preparation and readiness for GSAT. State Minister Floyd Green says the examination will cover mathematics, language arts and communication tasks, as well as practice papers for social studies and science. Meanwhile, he says all is on track for the 2017 GSAT slated for March 16 and 17. He says final arrangements are being made with emphasis on making provisions for students with special needs. A bulletin is to be issued to primary schools to collect information for accommodating students with special needs who are sitting the examination. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck says provisions will be made in the upcoming fiscal budget to support increased work to be undertaken by custodies in the expanded program of the ministry.
We thought it very necessary that we at least put in place that we can provide an office, provide a secretary, and certainly, provide some reimbursable expense to the custodies so that across the different parishes, the work of the Justice Ministry can be properly carried out.
The minister was addressing a recent meeting with custodies. Under the expanded justice program, the plan is for each parish to have a justice center that will be responsible for training persons in restorative justice, mediation, and child diversion. The Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management OPM has extended its one-month earthquake awareness campaign in January to March. At the launch on Monday, Director General Major Clive Davis said this was to get persons to take on a culture where they were able to identify and reduce risks, as well as to prepare for disasters.
It is envisioned that the OPM will continue to build a culture of safety among individuals, households, organizations, about earthquake and the consequences thereof.
He says in 2012, OPM carried out rapid visual screening on 77 critical facilities in Kingston, including police and fire stations and hospitals. 60% failed, indicating that they would not be expected to perform well under an earthquake. Major Davis says this resulted in parish council officers and members of other national response agencies being trained in rapid visual screening to identify and screen buildings that are potentially seismically vulnerable.
So that in the event of an earthquake, and even before the quake, they have the skills at hand where they can go out and do the rapid visual screening, give us some ideas of what could happen, and be able to address them.
And finally, the family of national hero Marcus Garvey has donated his insignia for the Order of National Hero to Liberty Hall. His son, Dr. Julius Garvey, handed over the National Medal of Honor along with a Bible owned by Garvey during a recent ceremony. The items will be displayed in the museum dedicated to the life and teachings of Marcus Garvey. Culture Minister Olivia Grange says the donation is a selfless act that speaks to the level of nationalism and pride that the Garvey family ascribes to Jamaica. Her message was delivered by Chairman of the Jamaica National Heritage Trust, Lolita Davis Mattis.
I envision that the memorabilia, particularly the National Medal, will be the source of fascination for many and will serve to further enhance the educational experiences of the persons who utilize Liberty Hall for research about this great man.
Former Prime Minister Edward Seaga, who accepted the medal on behalf of the museum, spoke to Garvey's importance to Jamaicans.
This man, in my mind, was the most important man in the history of Jamaica. He was important because of his message. He was important because of the way in which he believed that message. He was important because of the way in which he could confer and pass on the inspiration that he felt, and the message that he had.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thanks for watching.